I'm wishing a very happy New Year's to all you Undead Unluck fans out there as we welcome in 2023 with Chapter 142, Face Off. But a quick update before we hop into things. If you haven't seen the community post, working on a video which is comprising everything which happened in Undead Unluck for 2022. So that's the anime announcement, any sort of internet accolades we want, along with everything which occurred in the manga. So I want to talk about theories I've had, theories that you all have as well. So if there's any topics you want me to touch upon in that video, drop them down below. Like this video if you could, comment anything else. How you felt about Chapter 142 and Void Volks. This dude's a hard-boiled individual. And subscribe if you're new here, but let's get into it. So although it's a face-off between Fuko and Void, I think it's safe to say that Void Volk stole the show in Chapter 142. Fuko comes out, guns a-blazing. She is ready to fight Void immediately. She starts sizing him up even, thinking about his size in comparison to Andy, and she thinks he's ready to fight as well. This dude throws his coat off. However, Void Volks is for the fans. He just sees a little nice woman in front of him who's got a little bit of chutzpah. He's trying to give her something of value. He gives her his coat. And a cool thing I saw right here. I kind of was confused by that symbol that Void always has on his gear. However, as soon as he gave it in a signature format, I understood it. It's Void's name is that little symbol he uses. It's the V-O-I-D. Cool shit. But I love how Yoshifumi takes this extremely comical situation of Void just not taking Fuko serious and kind of adds some tenseness to it. We switch scenes to Nico, Ichiko, and Gina as they kind of are biting their nails, realizing that the plan is not going according to how they thought it would. They know Void does not have his ability yet, and that's why they're trying to step in front of him right now. He's going to manifest it during a fight with a young, promising individual, and that was supposed to be that previous combatant. However, as Fuko went and begged, pleaded with him to not fight this fight, they got him to step out. And that's why Fuko's stepping in right now, trying to be that individual who fights off against Void, manifest their ability during that fight. But the issue lies with this comical situation. If Void does not take Fuko serious, then they're never going to be able to get in the ring together. And I thought it was really cool that Fuko's resolve this chapter kind of showed a lot. That even though she could just manipulate Void's mind, she doesn't want to do that. She could just make herself bigger, appear to Void as though she's a big, brolic, good competitor for him. But no, she wants to be the real individual who she's going to be a leader for Void if he joins the Union. And it just goes to show that Fuko's trying to get this job done right, not just get it done, but make friends and make true colleagues along the way. Void Volks is easily becoming one of my favorite characters within the series each time we get to see him, and this chapter just went and solidified that. All of the rebuttals which he threw Fuko's way to kind of just try to dissuade her from fighting off against him were unbelievable. Seeing him hit this Himura Batusai level of bloodlust, where he just looked at Fuko in the eyes and she thought that she got her ass kicked just from a glance, made me feel insane. Fuko falls back just thinking, wow, that wasn't even a real fist. That's why if you get this guy in a negator suit, and this is a random tangent, however, just think about it. I saw this post on Reddit. Somebody asked why Void wears that suit. This guy is a monster. He is a menace. Void is a killer. If you pair him with Nico's freaking technology, that is a dangerous dude. But even Void's bloodlust doesn't dissuade Fuko from challenging him, and as she gets right back up with a smile on her face, Void just has to look her in the eyes and tell it how it is. He says, "Fuko, baby dear, boxing is a fair and simple game. There are very strict weight divisions and people work very hard to work within those divisions. They issue challenges to like-bodied individuals in order for them to compete at a level playing field, and you and me? We're just not in the same world." But Fuko doesn't care. She just puts her hands up, starts bobbing. She says, "Void, baby, dear, maybe you don't understand, but we are a part of the same world. We abide by the same exact rules." And little does he know, that statement is going to hit a little bit closer to home in just a little bit. However, it's finally at this point that Void's like, all right then. I think you finally tested me, showed me your resolve. Let's square off a little bit. As Void throws a strong right, Fuko ducks, just barely being grazed in the top of the head, but being able to dodge in and get a small blow to the body of Void. Even though her punches were light, Void notices something different about it, being staggered just a little bit. And amazed by this entire moment, Void gets a smile on his face and says, "I like the cut of your Jibazumo, Fuko. I kinda do want to fight you. But even if I wanted to fight you, how would we do this? This is, sanctioned boxing, the best entertainment in the world. Who's gonna want to sponsor something of a little girl just getting her ass beat by a grown man? But this is the manga where that finally gets to happen." Taking Void's inch of a yes and making it into a mile, Fuko and Nico actually used the memory-altering satellite to make all the sponsors, all those benefactors, all those people within the crowd, start wanting that fight, wanting Fuko versus Void to be the next heavyweight champion matchup. And with the match set, we get a little bit of insight into the mind of Void, folks. A little bit of reasoning as to why he's been so crazy throughout this chapter, why he has this intense bloodlust that Fuko felt very harshly earlier. It's because of his past, and I'm really excited to learn more about this past, because all we know so far is that he's been fighting through a lot of shit, a lot of individuals with no rules attached, and apparently that's something he appreciated about his past. And he even gives Fuko a little compliment, saying that during those times he got to fight against a lot of people he'd never seen before, and I think what he meant is what we saw at the end of this chapter, that he's never seen a technique that was able to hit somebody from the insides out, and that was obviously an allusion to Yoshifumi Gotsuka's favorite thing to be added, Uma Ghost. But I wonder if fighting with no rules attached kind of alludes to the reason as to why he gets unavoidable as an ability. Something which truly does add rules to the one thing which he's never really had rules with. Fighting. He stepped into the boxing rink where you do have to fight with sanctioned rules. However, he definitely wanted to abide by those if he was going to step into the ring. He didn't want to get some sort of curse though, which kind of makes the thing he loves to do the most, fighting, pointless. It's kind of the Saitama effect. If you always have a boring fight, who wants to even do it after a moment? But we also see how strong Void is at the end of this chapter, just grazing the top of Fuko's head, sent her to being passed out just nearly a couple minutes later, and that's just crazy. Obviously, the heavyweight champ of the world has got a little bit of wallop in his punch, so it makes sense. However, January 31st, 1999 is the date set for the fight of the century, dog. I'm excited for this next chapter. Fuko is actually going to get schminkle binkle bopped, unless she can just land one good chakra point type shit, like soul blow that just fully takes Void out of the equation. She's gonna get hit a lot. He has to manifest his ability. I'm just kind of scared for her to take that punch, but that's Suzumo Fuko, baby. She's the hardest boiled individual in the world. But like I said, y'all, working on the other videos, so I kind of want to keep this one relatively short. Don't know if that's the case because I haven't even edited it yet. But dude, Undead Unluck, goated series, 2023, coming for heads. So, awesome.